Are you feeling frustrated with your IELTS reading score and want to achieve that perfect band 9? Well, I've got some tips that can help you boost your score and get closer to your goal. First, let me tell you what not to do. Many test takers make the mistake of reading the passage from top to bottom, which is the worst thing you can do. The passages are too long, and you won't remember everything they talk about. Instead, before you start the test, spend 30 seconds reading the questions and the headings. This will give you an idea of what to expect and help you focus your attention on the relevant information. Next, remember that time is of the essence. You have 60 minutes for 3 passages, which means you should aim to spend around 20 minutes on each one. That's not a lot of time, so you need to be quick with your reading. When you come across summary questions, don't read the entire passage first. Instead, read the 2 paragraphs that the question refers to and then answer the question. This will save you time and prevent you from having to read the passage again. When reading the passage, it's important to read every single sentence and not skip any of them. In IELTS, any single line can have the answer, and it can be in the middle of the paragraph. Rereading the lines is not recommended. By reading each line once, you can easily get through the passage within 5 to 7 minutes. It's fine if you don't know a particular word. Don't worry about it and don't get stuck on it. Instead, try to skim and move on and understand the essence of the sentence. Always read the instructions carefully. Don't assume that you know the instructions even if you have taken the test before or practiced a lot. In summary questions, for instance, there may be a condition that you only need to answer with one word, and it's important to know that because it can change every time. If you don't follow the instructions carefully, you can lose points. Don't confuse true and false with yes and no questions. These are 2 different types of questions. It's important to note the instructions in the question and not make silly mistakes. Remember to check for spelling, even if you have doubts that your spelling may not be correct. If you're unsure about a word's spelling, go back to the passage and check it again. Additionally, it is crucial to check your spelling, as people often make silly mistakes that can cost them points even if their answer is correct. Your spellings and tenses should match, and you cannot write an answer that is okay, but does not fit because the tense is wrong. You could lose points very easily, so keep that in mind and ensure that you are not making any mistakes like that. Moving on to the 6th tip, if you're not sure about an answer, remember that every single answer on the IELTS counts for only 1 point. So if you come across a question that is extremely difficult, you can mark it and move on because there are easier questions that you can use to get better points on the IELTS. The 7th point is to work extensively on your weaknesses. For example, if you struggle with heading questions, practice a lot and make sure you pick out passages with those types of questions and sit down to focus on them. Work on turning your weaknesses into your strengths. Give yourself a confidence boost before taking the IELTS. Aim to finish the first passage in 15 minutes, which is possible, and it will give you a buffer, even if you are slower at the end. This will boost your confidence and give you a positive mindset for the rest of the test. Finally, make sure to underline or highlight important points while reading. If you're doing the paper-based test, underline, and if you're doing the computer-based test, highlight. This will help you come back to specific points later and ensure that you do not miss out on important information. Another important tip is to use the highlighting feature even on the computer-based test. For those of you who are not familiar with it, make sure you use it. Also, make sure to finish at least 5 full tests before the test date. Many people make the mistake of only practicing with official materials. However, you don't have to do that. You're here to take the IELTS, so just study for the IELTS. There are about 15 books right now from Cambridge, and each book has 4 test papers, making it about 60 test papers in total. Every single test paper has about 3 reading passages, so you have more than enough reading passages to study from, which are officially seen on the IELTS. Don't go ahead and study from any other material. It's not recommended. For the long term, if you want to improve your reading skills, definitely go ahead and do it. But if you're on a short leash and you need to take the test and get an awesome score, you can't go ahead and read newspapers. That's just my recommendation. If you want to finish within 7 to 15 days, it's very doable. You can prepare within 15 to 17 days. There's a video about it that you can watch. If you're taking the computer-based test, try the online test samples on IDP/British Council's website. Remember that there are online samples. Whatever you're taking it from, IDP or British Council, doesn't matter. Go to their website. They will have these online tests, simulated tests, which will show you the kind of software they're going to use on the test day. You can highlight, copy, and paste. All of these things are right there. You just need to take the initiative. You need to try those online tests, online simulators of the actual test, and you'll be good. Make sure that you're used to how the test is going to look like. If it's reading-based and it's paper-based, print out the whole exam. Sit down at your table, start working, and start doing those questions. Try to simulate the test when you're taking those 5 mock tests, and that should be more than enough for you. One very important point is that I will be doing one section of the reading passage for you guys to live in front of the camera in one of my next videos, so it can be the next one, or it can be the next to the next one. Because my laptop is not working, well right now, I'll fix it a little bit, but I will be doing that very, very soon. You'll be able to see me solve a passage right in front of you. I'll be telling you how I go about it. You can see my thought process. You can see how I actually skip the questions, sometimes, and how I come back to them later on. So it's really important that strategy is something that I could not detail very much in this video. But I'll be doing that very soon. If you have not subscribed to the channel, now is the time. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and I'll be telling you about those things very soon. Let me know your scores. I want to know how you're doing. If you're able to score very well on the IELTS reading, I want to know. By the way, this is the chart, so if you have maybe scored 38 points, that means that you are at 8.5. Keep these things in mind when you're trying to estimate your scores. So, there you have it. These tips may seem simple, but they can make a big difference in your IELTS reading score. Remember, don't waste time reading the entire passage. Read the questions and headings first, and focus on the relevant information. If you follow these tips, you'll be well on your way to improving your score and achieving your goal. Thanks for watching.